Well, the RCMP is charging one of its own with several offences under Canada's official secrets law. Cameron Ortis made his first court appearance yesterday. He was charged under 3 parts of the Security of Information Act and 2 parts of the Criminal Code of Canada. The RCMP say the charges stem from activities alleged to have occurred during his time as a civilian employee. But for more on this, we're joined by Michel Juneau-Katsuya. He's a former CSIS senior intelligence agent and security analyst, and he has agreed to join us on a weekend morning from Montreal. Thanks so much for joining us, Michel. Let's just, first off, for our audience, talk about how serious these charges are.
This is very, very serious. This can bring him into jail for at least 37 years minimum. So in that perspective, this is an extremely serious case against the individuals. But it is extremely serious as well because of the position that he had. He was the DG, the Director General of Intelligence for the RCMP. He basically had access, free access to all the information the Canadian intelligence community possess, but also intelligence coming from our allies, particularly the Five Eyes. So that means New Zealand, Australia, England, US, and Canada. So this is very, very important here for Canada to be capable to protect its own secret, but we must protect the secrets of our friends as well.
Yeah, so it's almost incalculable, presumably, in terms of the access and the sort of information that he might have had access to. And again, for our audience, who might have an interest in that sort of information?
Well, there's several organizations that could be interested. First, above all, is China itself. China, the Republic of China, which have a tremendous amount of spy around the world and is constantly asking to buy more information. People forget, but there's maybe Taiwan as well. Taiwan has a very aggressive and very proactive intelligence capability. But let's not exclude the organized crime. Triads are capable to buy that kind of information as well. We've seen cases in the past where, for example, Hells Angels have planted moles and have been capable to recruit and buy information from police officers. So organized crime is capable to buy such a thing. It is our understanding with the limited information we got so far that his intent was to sell the information. So obviously he was doing it for money, but we don't know if he succeeded to do so. Apparently, the Americans are the one who discovered him by turning over a source who revealed his name in his attempt in 2015 to sell some documents. So obviously he had been preparing his situation or his case, but we don't know yet who he was, who that information was destined, and if he succeeded in selling that information.
Now, again, allegations not yet proven in court. We have to say that around this. But what does it tell you that the allegations, at least initially, came from an ally? Fair enough, but not from within our own intelligence service.
That happens a lot. We help each other this way. Canada have discovered tons of spy in the U.S. by our own investigation or abroad in other countries. It happens like this. We help each other, and that's why we have allies. Unfortunately, it doesn't look good necessarily, but it never looks good for anybody who got caught. But to a certain extent, and I do not want to de-dramatize this situation, it's a very serious situation, but it is also a common situation. It's not rare. In the US, it's almost every month that they discover the mold within their intelligence and security community. So it's something that is happening. Against this week, we knew about the story of the CIA having to pull out an intelligence source close to Mr. Putin because of the fear of the Trump or Mr. Trump himself revealing the name of that source. So it's the name of the game. Intelligence services will try to recruit people. Some people within the community, like this guy, knew that information is commercial, is money, and he tried to probably prepare himself. Again, all allegations, we'll see more and understand more later, but we definitely need to go to the bottom of this. Canada will have to share the information with his allied and will have to be capable to explain how it happened and demonstrate that we will take measures. But let's remember that the weakest point in the security system is always the human being. The human being is weak in so many different ways, and it is exploitable.
Let's talk about this, though, in terms of that awareness, informing the allies, sharing that information with allies. Paint us a picture, if you could, Michel, just in the time we have remaining, about what sort of mad scramble, what sort of damage control are the RCMP and other federal agencies involved in. They're probably working right through this weekend. What's the scene like there?
Absolutely. Well, first and above all, probably they became informed quite a long time ago about his activities or the suspicions against him. So he has been probably under surveillance for quite a long period of time. We wanted to understand his methodology, what he was doing, how he was doing it. This will be a lead for the investigator to try to retrace the information. Definitely with the technology that we have currently, every single document that he could have touched, read, pass, or whatever will be examined. We will try to see if he made a copy, because as we know now, the technology allows us to store in the palm of our hands with a USB key so much document. Snowden, for example, walked away with 1.2 million documents in the palm of his hand. So that's a totally different game than it was maybe 50 years ago during the Cold War. Now the technology allows us to take so much information. So we need to understand now exactly what he read, which agency could have been compromised, and what, and more importantly, information was compromised, because we're talking about the life of individuals who had been working undercover, very sensitive information in Canada and abroad. So it's extremely important to find that information as fast as possible and as soon as and as precise as possible.
As you say, Michel, lives at stake right around the world. Thank you again for your time. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Michel Juneau-Katsuya is a security analyst, and he joined us from Montreal.